Welcome to you. I'm Christina Devina Lasson. You're watching Gabon Calling. Now on today's episode, we transport you to Nkok, the wood hub of the region, to bring you the most inspiring of the timber tales.
Launched in 2011, Gabon's Nkok Sez is home to over 120 investors from 16 countries of the world. Within 6 years of its inception, the Nkok Sez has been successful in attracting FDI of about $1.7 billion to Gabon.
I'm now in conversation with Mr. Jasveer Singh. He is the CEO of the Nkok Sez. Mr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
So let's start from the top. Mr. Singh, you have been instrumental in the setting up of the Sez here in Gabon. So tell us about the journey and what it was like from inception to where it stands today.
So we launched the project in September 2011 and it's been a very interesting journey since then. During these years, in the last 6 years, we have been able to attract about 120 investors with nationality from 16 countries to invest in Gabon Sez. And the total investment by these companies will bring an FDI about $1.7 billion USD to Gabon.
Well, to set up an Sez of this scale in this period of time truly seems like quite a task. What does it take to see such a project through to success?
So there were two reasons mainly. One is natural reason or market force. For example, the wood processing industries. Wood is a scarce commodity. India doesn't have a wood resource.
Right.
It is dependent on imports. So obviously Indian manufacturers were looking for a reliable, sustainable source of timber, and Gabon was a rightful choice for them.
Absolutely.
And second has like the ease of doing business. So for example, we have investors into agri, into pharma, into cement, and they had option of going into any other country, any other African country, but they decided to invest in Gabon because of the ease of doing business.
So what's in it really for Indian investors?
See, this project is in line with Make in India. How? You see, Indian investors, they are dependent upon import of face veneer to make plywood in India.
Yep.
We are supplying face veneer and people are making plywood in India. We are supplying metal ingots to industries in India which are further using it in the manufacturing process. We are supplying good quality wood to Indian manufacturers who are processing it in India and then exporting to US and Europe.
Right.
So this way we are seeing synergy between India and Gabon. And of course, the Indian investors have come in here, they've got a reliable source of raw material, and which is sustainable source of raw material, I'll say. They've got big profit margins here.
And of course, there is a strong government support as well, isn't there? The ease of entry and the ease of doing business for foreign investors like Indians is quite superior in Gabon.
No doubt on that. See, it doesn't take only money to make a Sez. If that was the basic criteria, then every country would be having a successful Sez. It is the willingness of the government and the policy, how investor friendly the policies are. And once the investor is here, how do you support him? That is all which takes to actually develop a Sez. And Gabon has done it very beautifully. My experience of working on more than being associated with more than 70 Sez is that what we are offering here in Gabon is unmatched, unparalleled. For example, the single window clearance system where all the approvals can be ensured while you are also parallelly, doing the construction of your asset, your factory, which is nowhere available.
Right.
So your approvals and your the construction of your factory happens in parallel.
Yeah. Fantastic. And one last thing, in your mind, in your vision, what is the future of the SEZ? Where would you like to see it in the coming years?
Definitely, phase 1 is full. We're almost 95% sold. We are now looking at phase 2, launching of phase 2. We are getting a lot of inquiries from across the globe to invest in various sectors to cater to the Gabon market, to cater to the CMAC region as well. Because the 6 countries together, they form the CMAC region, which is a population base about 4.5 crores. Right. So the investors want to come here and the process here, take the benefits of the SEZ benefits and cater to the market, such a big market.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mr. Singh, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Same here. Thanks a lot.
Gabon is one of the largest exporters of wood in Africa. With processed timber sales representing almost 20% of Africa's raw timber exports, it's safe to say that the timber industry is putting Gabon on the global map by attracting investors from leading nations of the world.
I'm now in conversation with Indranil Bhan, who is the Senior Vice President here at Greenply in Gabon. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So, Greenply is one of the largest manufacturers in India,
Yes.
and it's a company that has been around for many years, many decades.
Absolutely.
So, tell us about the shift now into Gabon and what inspired you to set up base here.
Basically, we were looking at, the company's vision was there to make global expansion. And since we are already a plywood manufacturing company, we started a wood processing unit in Gabon. The purpose was that we would peel Okume face veneer, which would go back to the markets in India to supply our plants, as well as to other units, external units, through India, across Southeast Asia, into China, and also into the Middle East.
Excellent. But let's talk about the incentives. What was it really that attracted you to Gabon to set up this manufacturing unit as opposed to other parts of the world where you do have a presence, Myanmar, for example, India, of course. What was it about Gabon?
Basically, the raw material is a very important criteria for our industry. Gabon has the largest forest cover in the world. They have an excellent system of forest management. And we felt that raw material availability in the now and in the future is not likely to be a problem. And for the timber industry, we are largely dependent on input of raw material. So that was the primary reason. Other reasons are also there. For example, is this country has very investor-friendly policies. Other than that, the law and order situation is perfect. Business processing approvals are very easy. Plus, we have the enabling structure of the SEZ, which helps us to operate smoothly.
So can you tell us a bit about the SEZ? What are the incentives in place for foreign investors like Greenply?
Basically, we have a tax exemption, both in terms of VAT as well as income tax. The SEZ makes it very convenient for us to access raw materials. We have a single window system of operation whereby all approvals, necessary approvals, customs clearances, etc. takes place very easily.
Right.
And today GSES is also promoting logistics, which is enabling us to avoid unnecessary dispatch time. It is to be improved further, but excellent work is being done already towards this effect.
Right, that's excellent. Now let's talk a little bit about the product. We can see it behind us actually. Yes. What product is this and what are your largest markets?
This is basically face veneer. This is used on plywood. It's cover of a plywood. We are peeling at various thicknesses. Depending on the market which we are targeting, the peeling thickness varies from that angle. We are doing 0.3 thicknesses for the Indian market. When we move to Southeast Asia, the thickness varies from 0.4 to 0.5. When we go to China, it drops to 0.25. When we go to Israel and other markets, again it steps up to 0.4, 0.5. We basically classify this in 3 stages, A, B, C. These are the 3 grades we classify in. Basically, that again depends because timber is a natural product. And obviously the quality would vary from bark to bark, tree to tree, log to log. So The attempt is to get high quality product at the thicknesses at which we are currently peeling.
Absolutely, you're right. And finally, what is your vision for Greenply here in Gabon moving forward?
We are basically looking back for forward integration and backward integration in terms of we are looking to expand into sawmills, sawing, we are looking at forestry, we are in discussion with GSES to provide us with forest so that we could, take this backward and forward integration so that we set up, we are here on a long-term basis and we intend to set up further because we have also planned in terms of our plot, etc. We have planned for setting up plywood also at a coming stage.
Okay.
So that gives us a larger base. We are invested into Gabon on a long-term basis, definitely.
All right, excellent. Well, it sounds like you have some very exciting future plans. So all the best for your endeavors, Mr. Pan, and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Right, on that note, it's time for a very short break, but stay tuned as the ocean of timber tales continues on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching Gabon Calling, and on today's episode, we explore Gabon's very unique SEZ and the industries that benefit the most from it.
Gabon's timberland, the Nkok Sez, offers an array of incentives to its investors. The government of Gabon ensured investor-friendly policies like single window clearance system, 0% tax on income for the first 10 years of business, 100% exemption on income tax and corporate tax, and so on.
I'm here today in conversation with Archit Goel, who is the director of Gabon Veneer. Archit, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
So Archit, you've had a very interesting journey. You have been in the space of, your family's been in the space of manufacturing for some time, for a few generations, but you went to study abroad, you studied in the United States, and yet somehow you have ended up in this very sector here in Gabon. So take us through your journey and how that happened.
Well, so far this journey was really amazing and it was really overwhelming a lot. I did my master's in finance from US, and at that time I was looking for opportunities to do something of my own. Then being an NRI, I thought I want to go in a country where there could be ample opportunities to explore my potential as well.
So what was the time frame that all this happened in? From the time you heard about the opportunity in Gabon to inception of your setup here to being a full-fledged running manufacturing unit, how long did all of that take you?
Well, it actually takes time, the construction and everything, it takes time. So I would say 2 years. For the first 5-6 months, we were exploring the opportunity whether we should do it or not. We did our study, we came here, we met people, we thought that yes, the investment could be safer because it matters a lot. When you come to a different country, the safety of investment matters a lot.
And let's talk a little bit about your product. We can see it actually right behind us. So what is the product and what is your process of creating this final product?
Well, this is face veneer. And the wood species which we are using is okume. So Gabon is like very famous for okume. It has big forest reserves for okume, which is very popular. We are actually manufacturing okume face veneer and exporting to countries like India.
And okume is a type of wood that is very specific to this region, is it?
You can say that Gabon has a good quantity of okume wood.
And who do you export it to? Where is your main market?
Currently our main market is India, and we are exporting to other countries as well, but in the coming years we want to increase our global presence, and we are targeting to export to more than 20 countries all over the world where this Gabon's face veneer is really popular.
Well, Archit, excellent. It sounds like you have big plans and a great journey ahead here in Gabon, so all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Spread over 500 hectares of land, the Nkok Sez dedicated over 12 hectares of land and 600,000 square feet of built-up space for the manufacturing of made-in-Gabon furniture. To diversify the Gabonese economy, the Nkok Sez aims to attract foreign investors, to collaborate and create manufacturing hubs in Gabon to develop timber exports in the region.
I'm here with Tanmaya Rashi, who is the director of Akashi Woods right here in Gabon. Tanmaya, thank you so much for joining us today. So, Tanmaya, you and your husband have had a very interesting professional journey from India to here in Gabon. So can you tell us what is it that brings you here?
My husband and me, we used to work in corporate setup back in Mumbai, India, and we really wanted to start something of our own. So that's when we shifted our base to Jodhpur initially. There, our partners and us, we wanted to look for some good business opportunities, and Jodhpur being furniture hub. So we wanted something in the similar lines, but we used to hear a lot about the scarcity of the good quality wood out there. Plus, there were some issues, regulatory challenges faced by Southeast Asian nations. So Africa was a logical choice for us because here, there's an abundance of good quality and exotic wood, and Gabon specifically because it's the second largest forest cover, and it's got some of the species are really exotic out here, which you do not get in Southeast Asian zone.
Okay, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the product. What is it exactly that you're manufacturing here?
What we do is the first level of transformation of wood, what you call. So it's a sawn timber that we sell out. So what happens is we get dimensions according to the client requirement.
Right.
So they tell us the certain dimensions in which they want. So we saw the woods accordingly, and then we sell it off to them.
Okay, excellent. And who are your main markets at the moment?
At the moment, we are exporting to European countries. There are a lot of floor and decking manufacturers out there. Then there are some furniture manufacturers in India. Then there are some door manufacturers in Asia.
Excellent. Well, all the best for future endeavors. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you, Devina.
Thank you. All the best.
Gabon's Wood Hub hosts over 40 investors from India doing business in numerous sectors like wood processing, plywood, furniture, cement, pharmaceutical and many more. To get an insight about the ease of doing business in Nkok, we caught up with a few Indian entrepreneurs from this manufacturing hub.
I'm now in conversation with Mr. Sanjay Rana, who is the director at Woodville here in Gabon. Mr. Rana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Rana, what is it that brought you here to Gabon in that case? What was the opportunity that you found in Gabon that you were not finding in India?
In India, there is a shortage of wood, quality wood. Basically, 2-3 woods are there, and here we have more than 20 species. Very good quality, good figures, and hardwoods, different colors that we can make the furniture from that and export to the countries, USA and Europe.
So, sir, can you please tell me how are you at Woodville making the most of the policies and the incentives that have been put in place through the GSEZ?
Yeah, GSEZ is providing us the good facilities here. As compared to other countries in the Africa. As in India, we are very comfortable in any ways, government department and locally working. Here also the GSEZ is providing us the very good quality of all the things, that electricity, सभी तरह के जो जैसे रोड्स वगैरह हैं और ज़मीन वगैरह जो हमारे को दी है यहाँ पर, तो इन्होंने बहुत हमारी हेल्प की है वहाँ से यहाँ पर आने के लिए, एस्टेब्लिश करने के लिए.
And finally, Mr. Rana, what is your vision for Woodville here in Gabon? What are your expansion plans, and where would you like to see the company in the next few years?
Yeah, now we have established 2 units here, KD unit and furniture unit. In expansion this next year, we are going in sawmill and veneer and plywood also. This is very great opportunities here in Gabon.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.
See, companies like Afifa and GSEZ provides in increase employment opportunities for local citizens and supports in increasing export volume from the country, resulting in the growth of country's good economy. If you have a plant, if you have a factory in Gabon Special Economic Zone, Nkok, you can drive your production at a very affordable cost because of abundant supply of raw materials, availability of skilled manpower, and logistic support by GSEZ.
After spending an insightful day learning about Gabon's SEZ and the ease of doing business for foreign investors, we've come to the conclusion that Gabon is truly the land of untapped opportunities. Join us again next week for much more on Gabon Calling.
Next week on Gabon Calling, we explore the successful and unique Gabon Special Economic Zone.